As we talk about a very complicated situation out there for firefighters. It's so hot and so dry.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible how quickly we've dried out, and this just goes to show how easy fires can start. We are not under a red flag warning. Those expired yesterday, and here we are today looking at ongoing wildfires. And that's actually the view from High Drive here, looking back over at that fire burning in Cheney, and you can see some of those flames going up into the trees being what's putting some of that darker smoke in the air. So Whitney, a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and dive into the forecast, because you're probably smelling a little bit of that smoke here in Spokane, probably inhaling it, going, okay, what's this doing to our air quality? Here's the thing. You can see the smoky haze, but if you look downtown, it's mostly clear and mostly sunny. So we don't really get that smoke going into exactly where those, I would say, air quality sensors are. So if you are smelling the smoke and it is getting thicker at your house, shut the windows, turn on the air conditioner. If you don't have an air conditioner, just run the fan. That will filter the air coming into your house, and that is going to make a big difference. Believe it or not, we can already see the smoke from that wildfire. This is our Goes West visible satellite imagery. So you can pick out a few of our wildfires burning across the region and the smoke coming from those fires. The Hallett Fire, or West Hallett Fire right there, is the one blowing some of that smoke into Spokane. The Eagle Bluff Fire off to the north, still being battled, but overwhelmingly our wind is pretty calm, We're looking at sustained winds around 10 miles per hour. That is pretty calm, but as we run out, say, everything, let's first do air quality. When it comes to air quality, we do sit at good, or, well, 45 in terms of AQI. I do think it starts to degrade a little bit as that smoke settles down a little bit later on this evening, and that smoke eventually starts to work its way toward us. So it does look like we get a little bit more tonight. So if you can, keep the windows closed, keep the fan going, kind of filter some of that air as it comes into your house. If you have air conditioning, now's the time to run it. Eventually that smoke kind of settles. Notice the Eagle Bluff fire smoke settles down into Chelan County, and then it eventually starts working its way out as we get more southerly wind by Wednesday. But the next couple of days, it likely turns a little bit more smoky than where we've been for most of the summer because of some of those ongoing wildfires. The good news is wind remains relatively calm. Today, 10 to 15 miles per hour. These are your wind gusts. Tonight, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then as we get into the day tomorrow, it looks like our winds will gust around 10 to 20, so very similar to today. Once they start, might trim that back to about 10 to 15, which is very likely, but right now forecast models say anywhere between 10 to 20 miles per hour across the inland northwest. Once again, most of those stronger winds will be out closer to the Cascades. For us, winds up a bit lighter. Eventually, it does calm down, but overall, our pattern does favor a little bit of this monsoonal moisture making its way toward us later this week. Why is that a big deal? It's kind of twofold. It's a good news, bad news situation. It does give us more cloud cover heading into the second half of the week, but it does also bring us the chance of isolated storms. And with how dry our atmosphere has been, that could be our chance of, say, those dry thunderstorms where you see a little bit of lightning and you don't get any of the rain down to the ground. So this forecast is one we are going to keep a very close eye on, but as that monsoonal moisture moves in, we could see a big shift in our overall weather pattern later on this week.